What's up, everybody, and welcome to Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm excited, guys. I'm so excited for this game. This game snuck under the rug a little bit. There was no big announcement for this game. Nintendo popped it up on their YouTube and their socials, and that was how we found out about it, for the most part. But once I saw it on Nintendo's YouTube, ooh, the hype was real, guys. This is the one Xenoblade game I have not played. I've played 1, 2, and 3. Have not played X. I know the story elements of X. After I played 1, 2, and 3, I felt like there was a little bit of a gap there for me. So I informed myself of what the story is through various playthroughs that other YouTubers have done, and through the Xenoblade wiki and all of that. So I kind of felt like I was missing part of the story, even though technically Xenoblade Chronicles X is a standalone from 1, 2, and 3. I have my thoughts and theories. We'll get into that later. But it's been a while, guys. It's been a few weeks. And there is reasoning behind why I just kind of vanished. And I will get into that later. But I'm back. I'm in a place where I can be back. So I'm excited to share this game with you. So I'm just gonna stop the yakking, and we're just gonna jump right into it.
July 2054 AD. The Earth was caught in a great battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning. Our planet was overwhelmed, its surface reduced to ash and rubble in the blink of an eye. The Coalition government knew the war was coming. In response, they prepared the Earth-Life Colonization Project, Project Exodus. Interstellar arcs were launched all across the planet, from every major city on Earth. Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the arcs never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale. After leaving Earth behind, we spent 2 years wandering in space, searching. We thought of ourselves as the lucky ones, the pioneers who would settle a new world. But our past caught up with us, literally. The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived. Our ship took heavy damage. We lost control. With our flight systems down, the White Whale was pulled into the gravitational field of a nearby planet, its hull shattering and breaking to pieces as we plummeted toward the surface. Since then, 2 months have passed.
Alright, so here's where we get to do something unique to Xenoblade X. And I kind of wish it was in other games as well. Well, other Monolith Soft Nintendo games. And we get to create our own character. So, while we're doing this, well, I can talk, I can fill you guys in on what's been going on and all of the things. So, things got interesting in my house really quick. February and March, and part of January as well. My daughter got really sick. She has debilitating migraines. And I know some people are like, oh, it's migraines. They're not a big deal. No, these are a rare form of migraine. They're one of the rarest that are in existence. And they completely debilitate her when she triggers really bad. Also, side tangent. If you want Pyra and Mithra's headband, it's here. It's in the game, as is Malice's hair and several others. So, there's some nice throwbacks that Monolith put in this edition. But anyway, that aside, she went from a fully functioning 15-year-old to not being able to function or even be able to walk within less than 8 hours overnight, pretty much. And I had to pivot quickly and go from this being able to do this space and having the ability to do all of the things to focusing strictly on her. And with as quickly as it happened, there wasn't time for me to go out on social media and say, hey, I'm going to be vanishing for a while. This is why, and all of the things. It was almost instantaneous. She got to the point where she couldn't walk through my house. I had to hold her by the hand and guide her through my house. just so that she could throw up in the morning, and then hold her hands, walk her back through my house to her bed so she could sleep. At that point, she wasn't going to school. She wasn't able to, do anything except sleep all day. And it was extremely touch and go. She is doing better. She is in a place where she's functioning. She feels the best she's felt in months. She is, she's happy. She's cooking again. She's, she started going back to school right before spring break. And it's been great, having her back in that space where she feels like a functioning human being. It took us 2 months to get to that point, and 4 to 5 medication changes, and we're not done yet. We still have a couple other specialists that we've been referred out to, and we've got testing we've got to do again and all the things to make sure nothing has changed. But we're in a better space, which is allowing me to get back to recording and putting games out for you guys and being in this space, which has become my safe haven. And my kids have been my champion for this. A little fun fact, I had toyed with doing YouTube and putting games out, sharing my love of games for about a year or two, and my kids were really the champions for me, and they encouraged me to do this and pretty much gave me their stamp of approval for this. They know and have known of my love of gaming for a while, and they pretty much said, "Hey mom, you enjoy doing this. This is something you love to do, so share it." These conversations we have of games and what their meanings are and all the things, you need to share that. So they kind of gave me that seal of approval. So I needed to be able to pivot for them how they needed me to pivot. And I'm glad that I can now be back in this space and doing these things. And I've missed it. I've missed it a lot. I'm so happy to be back. And that my kids are healthy enough to allow me to be back. So, going forward, what that is going to look like is, as far as footage, as far as playthroughs for the channel, Xenoblade Chronicles X and Metaphor are going to take priority. Especially with X being pretty much a blind playthrough for me, and I've been excited for this game, guys. But I want to get Metaphor done as well. And I have the next episode of Metaphor recorded. It's been recorded for a while. I just haven't had the chance to edit or do anything like that with it. There is a small little piece I need to re-record since I got the research done I needed for it, and then that'll be up. That being said, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will take kind of a backseat for a while, just so that we can focus on these two playthroughs and get them out. I do have a couple episodes for 3 recorded, and I will sprinkle those in where I can. But yeah, for the foreseeable future, it's going to be X and Metaphor. All right, with that being said, let's jump into more cutscenes.
Attention, external access confirmed. Disengaging stasis in 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing hatch. Please stand clear.
Hey there. Looks like you're all in one piece. Careful. Just take it nice and slow, okay? Your senses will need time to reactivate. Your pod is the only one around that landed intact. Good thing I found you. My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours? You don't even remember your own name? It must be the stasis hangover. That's not good. Just try and focus, all right?
Alright, so now we get to name our protagonist, which is very much Persona vibes for me. I kind of wish we got to do this in more Nintendo games. But that's a side tangent. Alright.
Good, there we go. What else you remember? It'll come. In the meantime, I'll get you up to speed here as best I can. How are your limbs? Can you move? We'll take it easy while you shake the stasis out of your system. One step at a time, all right? First things first, you'll be needing a weapon. There you go. All right, let's get going.
Alright, now we'll get the waypoint markers. Which are clear in this game, and I appreciate that. Alright, and they got hops in this game too. I appreciate that.
Most of the white whale's life pods didn't survive the crash, like this one. You're one of the lucky few. Right. You don't even remember the white whale, do you? You know, the L-002? The ship we escaped Earth on? You remember Earth, right? Planet Earth. Your homeworld. Or rather, it used to be anyway. Unfortunately, It was caught in a battle between two alien forces. And destroyed. Ring any bells? Don't feel bad. It's one memory I'd like to forget. I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm you, but we're going to need to defend ourselves. You up to the task?
Alright, so now we get the tutorial for targeting. Target with R and then A to draw weapons. And then auto attacking. If you've played a Xenoblade game before, you know all about auto attacking. And then arts. So the art palette on this is arranged like Xeno 1. And it's all in the D-pad, which is what caused me to remap my controller for Xeno 1. Which I am not able to do in this game. Just because of how the command layout is for various actions. So I'm gonna have to get used to it. It's gonna take me a minute to get used to it. Alright, arts go on cooldown after you use them. Different arts have different cooldowns.
First shot. Target make fast. Shadow strike. Salt hammer. Pump them with lead before they get us.
All right, just like that, guys.
You're not half bad. There's plenty of work back in the city for someone who knows how to handle a weapon, you know. Then you're interested. In that case, I might have just the job for you. But anyway, we can talk more details later. For now, let's keep moving.
Alright, soul voices are unique to X. Soul voices are prompts with instructions, suggestions, or requests that party members will call out. Successfully responding triggers various useful boons. When an ally uses the soul voice prompt, the art on your palette which matches will be highlighted. And then if you use the art that's highlighted and you will succeed in the prompt, you and the prompt issuer will regain some HP and receive a beneficial effect. And it improves the infinity. Yeah. The super high jumps in this game, I appreciated, or I do appreciate. It's gonna make scaling some areas so much easier.
I'll never stop getting stronger.
One thing I did do in the settings, I did slow down my camera. So that it's not quite as choppy. So I slowed down the rotation of it.
Make him fast! Shadow Strike! Salt Hammer! They're freaking out! Topple them with gunfire! Slide nice! Move in and do some damage! Yes, we did it! We got him. Let's move.
Alright, we're going to... That's where that one is. Okay. So, full disclosure, I've done this recording a couple times now. And I haven't been able to find this life pod at all. I'm glad I was able to find it. I'm on a different computer currently, which means I had to redo all of my settings for my recording software. And that meant trial and error on recording this to get it out. So I've done this particular intro, or this section, a couple of times now.
The rain's starting to let up, just in time for sunrise. Follow me. I promise you're gonna love this.
Can I just say that this just looks gorgeous on Switch? And the music is phenomenal. And Monolith Soft usually takes great care in their music, but this almost has like an indigenous feel to it, and I don't think it's something we've been treated to in the games prior to X.
Pretty wild, huh? They're all indigenous, as far as we can tell. We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together. We call this planet Mira. You won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home. Recognize the habitat unit? That's where we're headed. Watch yourself. That first step's a doozy. We can jump if you like. You could handle the fall. But the indigents down there are another story. Some big, some mean, all nasty. Given our options, the high road here would be the safer way to go, relatively speaking. That said, whichever way you want to go, I'll follow your lead. You decide.
Alright. Enemy detection types. There's a few of them in this game. There's the non-aggressives, which will have no icon. If you don't bother them, they will not bother you. Which means if you don't want to pick a fight, you don't have to. And I'm always appreciative of that. And then the visuals. If you've played Xenoblade before, you know how some of these enemy types work. You're in their field of vision, they're going to attack. And then auditory. If you wander too close and they hear you, they'll attack. I generally give these guys a wider berth than in the visuals, especially if they're higher level, because I don't want to pick a fight that I can't win. And then sprinting is pushing down on the L1, or the L analog, and then auto run is R plus B. And I do enjoy the fact that they give you the choice here, right? You can jump down here and mess with the baddies, which at our current level are going to one-shot us. Or you can take the high road. And quite frankly, I'd rather take the high road and not die. Although chances of me being one-shotted, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get one-shotted in this playthrough at least once. So be prepared for that. Alright, we'll get that. And then we'll attempt to make it to New LA without me dying. That would be great. A couple things here. Once we get to New LA, I will end off this episode just because I think that New LA needs to be its own thing. And I know technically that's the end of the prologue is when you enter New LA. I just, from a recording standpoint, I feel like it needs to be its own episode. We're going to try and stay out of this guy's line of sight because I really don't want to get into a fight with him if I can avoid it. Ooh. Those jumps. I love the high jump in this game. I am very much becoming a fan of it. And I noticed this on one of my passes through here. You hear that? That is a gorilla up there just snoozing. And Monolith has... There's been gorillas in almost every Xenoblade game. Some of them are super bosses. We've all seen them. But I think that's the first time I've ever heard one snort. And It was the funniest thing ever the first time I heard it. And then we're gonna go into this area and pray that I don't get one-shotted. Because that might actually happen.
Looks a lot bigger up close, doesn't it? And this was just the habitat unit. The white whale was one hell of a ship. Until it all came crashing down, at least. That's the west gate. It's closed off now for security reasons. But we've repurposed a freight elevator that will get us inside. Grexes. And they're riled. We can't leave them roaming here, not this close to the gate. We're gonna have to take them down. You ready?
Alright, so melee and ranged attacks. You have two options for attacks, ranged and melee. Melee is close range and you tend to do more damage per hit. Ranged is ranged. Multiple hits, less damage. When you use an art, it will automatically switch you to the weapon that the art is associated with. Melee weapons for melee arts and ranged weapons for ranged arts, which I appreciate. Arts and secondary cooldowns. Unique to X, arts have a secondary cooldown. So once they're up, they'll continue to cool down. Arts that are used with a secondary cooldown have a greatly increased effect. So bear that in mind as you're pointing out your attacks.
Come, I'll face you.
They're off guard. Stagger them with a melee attack.
Shadow
Have a
strike.
little break.
Flame
Target in
grenade.
sight.
Stream edge. Never stop getting stronger.
Upper hand.
Slice.
Nice. Move in and do some damage.
Rogue armor. Shadow strike.
Hostile neutralized. Switch to close range combat. I should
fall
heal up
back and
first.
recover.
Slide. Nice. Move in and do some damage. It's a shame we had to settle near so much wildlife. Luckily, some species aren't so hostile, but they aren't necessarily friendly either. I've come to learn that there's a fine line between self-defense and provoking a fight. We need to walk that line. All right, let's head in. Who knows? Maybe seeing the inside will jog your memory.
So full disclosure, on a couple passes I've done of this, I did get one-shotted by those Grexes. It was not fun. Alright, and with us safely at New LA, or at least the entrance to it, we are going to end off this episode here. So, in the next episode, we will go into New LA. There'll probably be some more cutscenes, and we'll explore as much as the game will let us. since we are technically in the tutorial section, there's going to be limits on what we can and can't do, and explanations of how New LA works and all of the things. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.